Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You're so quiet over there for some reason.
I'm sorry.
It's like you're whispering.
I'm not.
Why are you whispering? We've got a great guest coming up later. A guest that might just scare your socks off, Heidi. Are you wearing socks?
I am not wearing socks.
Well, see? Linwood's already scared your socks off. You've been reading this book. Has it been any good?
It's very good.
It's
very good.
International best-selling author Linwood Barclay. He's got a new book called Downstairs. I let Heidi peruse the book, and she won't give it back. So it must be okay.
Yeah, it is.
Right, well, that's good. I'm excited to chat with him. Also got Whoopi Goldberg for our quote today. She says, "We're here for a reason. I believe that reason is to throw little torches out to lead people through the dark." Okay. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but thanks, Whoopi. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. This has been your quote for the day. I'm excited for my interview with Linwood Barclay coming up in the program.
John and Heidi.
Make plans to join us for the second annual 80s in the Sand. My wife Heidi and I went last year. It was so much fun. And guess who's going to be there this year? It's Brett Michaels.
Hello, everybody. It's Brett Michaels. I will see you at 80s in the Sand, Tuesday, November 6th, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. I promise you, this is going to be the ultimate concert, party, best night ever. Let's rock on, my friends.
Get your tickets now at 80sinthesand.com. Over 90% of the tickets are sold. Don't wait. 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is the 10th of August. Today is a Friday, and it's National Shapewear Day. What are shapewear? Is that
It's like
a girdle?
Yeah, like
Or
Spanx.
Spanx? Do they have Spanx for men?
Yes, I think they do.
Does it have like a built-in six-pack?
No.
I need one of those. You guys, whoever wants to invent that. Make one for me in 3X or 2X. I could squeeze a 2X on. It's also National Connecticut Day, National Lazy Day. Well, I'm going to celebrate that one. And National S'mores Day. So get out there and celebrate one way or another. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can either add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. Or a combination of both, but there's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow sales. And you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Sign up at betterresultsadvertising.com. That's betterresultsadvertising.com.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first, a company in Japan is offering to launch newlyweds' marriage certificates into outer space.
Why?
I don't know. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
Don't you need your marriage certificate?
No, once you get married, now you don't need it anymore, apparently. I don't know. Or
I
maybe
guess that's
you do.
your marriage license.
Yeah, so I think, it's like, hey, now that we're done with this, what do we do with it? How about we shoot it into outer space?
It's ridiculous.
Okay. What do we do with ours when we're done with it? I probably used it as
I think we still have it.
Do we? Like, we got permission to get married 18 years ago. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380, 1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Police say a, quote, very drunk woman, end quote, jumped from a drawbridge in Maryland, and she was arrested. Did we talk about this?
I think we did.
I kind of wonder if we did. It says here, Daily Times say that the Coast Guard and Maryland National Resource Police searched for hours after a woman reportedly jumped from a bridge. Later, they were called to a gravel parking lot where they found 39-year-old Brooke North stumbling in a swimming suit. She jumped because she said she just liked swimming.
Yeah, we did. We read
and wanted
this
to get
one.
away. Oh, that's right. She said she'd washed up on the rocks. Police say that she screamed at passing vehicles and responding officers. She was charged with public intoxication, disturbance, and disorderly conduct. So,
well, there you go.
How in the world did I have
can't
that same
believe
story
she
twice?
didn't drown being intoxicated and jumping off of a Yeah,
Very,
that's
very
crazy.
fortunate that she made it through all of that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. Remember Ben Affleck and Matt Damon? They worked together on that
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting, and wasn't that like their first big movie?
I don't know.
Well, Ben Affleck is going to direct, and Matt Damon is going to star in a movie version of a true crime drama about an ex-cop who rigged the McDonald's Monopoly game. Do you remember when all this happened?
I don't remember when that happened.
Fox reportedly outbid Universal and Netflix and Warner Brothers. Everybody wanted to do this movie with these two. They it says here that the story centers on a former police officer, Jerome Jacobson, who was director of security for a company that produces the McDonald's Monopoly game pieces. He allegedly made millions by stealing winning pieces and then selling them.
How did he know which ones were winning pieces?
Well, because there's only one of this piece and there's only one of this piece. When they made them, he took those and then he was selling them to people.
But didn't they say he was a cop?
Yeah, he was a cop, but he was also the head of security for this company.
Oh.
So, anyway, the movie will tell you all about it. You'll have to watch it. It'll be on the big screen. This has been Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
John and Heidi.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by 80sinthesand.com. Every dog has its day, and a dog in Chattanooga certainly did. Police say that she, the dog, helped catch a suspected thief. Her barking alerted her owner to a suspicious man in the yard, and this was last Friday, I believe, and this was in Chattanooga Police Department. On their Facebook, they posted on here, they talked about a crime-fighting canine. The post also said, officers hope that she gets some extra treats for her good work. I've got a link to the story. Look at that, the link. Let's see how long the link is.
That is insane.
The link is longer than the story.
story.
I'm going to trim that when I put it in our show notes, so when you click on it, otherwise it'll be the entire page of show notes will be that link. But it's a cute story. This puppy dog helped save the day.
That could have been our good news.
Yeah, our dogs bark all the time, but not for anything good.
Yeah, we just don't even believe them anymore.
If a burglar walked into our home, they probably wouldn't bark. They'd be like, "Oh, wait a minute,
Well,
what are
they
you doing here?"
would, but we wouldn't even pay attention to them anymore because they've done it. So they've lied so many times. It's kind of like CNN.
Oh, come on. Our dogs cry wolf too much, apparently.
Way too much.
We've got another story here from Florida. The Daytona Beach, Florida police are looking for the owners of an ATM that was found on railroad tracks. It was empty when they found it. Police have no idea where it came from. So if you're missing your ATM...
They have no idea. Isn't there some sort of a serial number on
You'd
them
think
that they
so.
should be able to look up?
You'd
and
hope
know?
so. Maybe they busted all of that off when they were
Wow.
emptying it out. I don't know. And then thousands of chicken nuggets were strewn across Newport, Tennessee last week. It was emergency management agency that put out the story here. They say a train and a tractor trailer were involved in an accident. Chicken nuggets were strewn for blocks. Residents of that community were able to go and help if they wanted, I suppose, clean them up. Would you want nuggets that were laying all over
Not
the road?
on the ground, no.
Probably not. It was a refrigerated trailer carrying 39,000 pounds of Tyson chicken nuggets, and it was involved in an accident with a rail car at an intersection in downtown. Pictures shared by the EMA, Emergency Management Association, I think is what that is, show hundreds of boxes, at least hundreds, might have been thousands, that were strewn across the ground, likely holding dozens of nuggets in each one. There were no injuries reported. The intersection was shut down while the boxes of nuggets were cleaned up. So, can you imagine being on the cleanup crew for that? Like when you're done, you're like,
Why not just turn all the neighborhood dogs loose and let them have a field day?
Oh, they were frozen. I'm sure they probably wouldn't be any good. Let them thaw out and then do
yeah,
it.
then they'd get sick. I thought maybe they were the pre-cooked frozen. You know what I mean? Those Tyson chicken
I
nuggets,
don't
they're
know.
pre-cooked. All
I
you
don't
got to do is
know.
warm them up.
I have no idea. I don't know how that works. I'm not going to get in a squabble about the chicken nuggets. You win, Heidi. You win. This has been your scoop of the day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can either add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. Or a combination of both, but there's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow sales. And you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Sign up at betterresultsadvertising.com. That's betterresultsadvertising.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We have a special guest joining us today, international best-selling author Linwood Barclay. He's got a brand new book out called A Noise Downstairs. This is book number 19, and it looks really, really good. And my wife is already reading it, Linwood. She's loving it. What was it that got you interested in becoming a writer in the first place?
Well, I was writing stories from about the third grade on, and I'd always wanted to write stories. I think what really got me going in many ways was television. When I was a little kid, and I was watching, whether it was The Man from U.N.C.L.E. or Mission Impossible, an episode a week wasn't enough for me. And so I would take those characters and write more adventures of using them myself. It's the kind of thing we call fan fiction today. And when I was probably 10 or 11 years old, I asked my dad if he could show me how to type on our old heavy Royal typewriter. My thing weighed about as much as a Volkswagen. And so I could write them more quickly. And by the time I was 11 or 12, I was writing 30, 40, 50-page novellas based on my favorite shows. So people would probably much prefer that I said I was inspired by Charles Dickens or something, but it was really TV that got me going, I think, into writing.
Well, and that's really cool. And when you're talking about the typewriter, that kind of reminds me a little bit of the new book, A Noise Downstairs, because there's a typewriter that's kind of a central theme in the book, isn't there?
This typewriter is the star of this book, I think, in many ways. And just quickly, the typewriter, this book, A Noise Downstairs, which initially I was going to call the typewriter. It's about a guy named Paul Davis, a college professor, who discovers a colleague of his trying to dispose of two bodies one night, and he nearly ends up dead himself. And then we move forward a few months, and Paul's his former colleague is now in prison, and Paul has post-traumatic stress disorder, and he's getting treated for it. And he thinks maybe a way to deal with the trauma of what he's been through would be to write about it. And so his wife buys for him, to kind of inspire him, this lovely old antique manual Underwood typewriter. Not that Paul's going to actually write his story on it, but it's there. It's kind of inspiring because he loves these old typewriters. But things start to go a bit wrong when, in the middle of the night, Paul starts hearing the sounds of this manual typewriter. And Paul thinks, well, maybe this is associated with my trauma. I'm dreaming this. It's not really happening. But one way to find out whether it is or not would be to roll a sheet of paper into that typewriter one night, and when there's nothing on it in the morning, he'll know that it was a dream, except that's not how it turns out. And Paul starts to wonder if this has something to do with those murders, the two women that were murdered, that his friend had been trying to get rid of their bodies. Because before they were killed, they were forced to write apologies on an old manual typewriter which had never been recovered. And Paul's starting to wonder if these women are trying to speak to him through this machine. Or is it possible that Paul is just writing themselves? He's writing them and is unaware of it, almost like sleepwalking. Is it part of his trauma? Or is there something even darker going on? And that's our setup for this book. So it was when I bought a lovely old manual antique typewriter myself to just sort of admire and have it. I kept looking at it thinking, there's a story there. What if that thing started making noises in the middle of the night?
Absolutely.
That's our jumping off.
So how do you come up with your idea for stories then? Did it start with just a vintage typewriter and staring at it thinking, what could this typewriter tell us?
I think that was part of it. I had like I say, it was about 4 or 5 years ago that I bought this lovely old typewriter. And the more that I looked at it sitting there on the coffee table where I kind of have it, a decorative little item, I thought, what if? And all of my books, for me, start with a what if. What if this happened? And then it was like, what if I heard noises from that thing in the middle of the night? And, if you look at the typewriter, if you look sort of straight on at some of these old ones, they have this kind of smile on the front of them because the keys are arranged in a semicircle. And the more it looked at me and I looked at it, it's like it's grinning at you. And I thought, maybe there's some kind of evil in this typewriter, and I think I can do something with that. Of course, that's just the starting point. Once you have that, you think, yeah, great, but what kind of story can I build around it? But something came to me, and now we have it. We have A Noise Downstairs.
Again, the newest book, A Noise Downstairs. Our guest today is international best-selling author Linwood Barclay. For younger people who are listening that maybe want to become writers, what advice do you give to somebody that wants to make a career out of this?
Well, there's two things. First is you have to read. A lot of people who are aspiring writers say, well, I'd love to read more, but I don't have time. Well, that's like, someone saying, I want to be a chef, but I don't have time to cook. And, I'm not interested in eating. I mean, I think the first thing is you have to be a reader, and you have to be reading a lot. Because the more you read, the more you learn from how other authors do things. And that's the first thing. And the other is, I think if you want to be a writer, you're probably writing. Even if it's not getting published, even if the only person reading it is you're writing. And because you have to. And that's the way it was for me as a kid. I mean, like I say, I was writing stories from about, the age of 8 or 9 on. And just like, when you find out the backstory of some amazing musical artist, you find out that they were singing or dancing at the age of 4. And you're reading and you're writing, and then as you get older and as your work that you're doing is maturing, you start looking for, you write a book and you start looking for an agent to get it out there. And there's no simple way to get it done. And just about for every author that I know, there's a different story of how they got there. I mean, for me, I was writing books in my late teens and early 20s, and none of them were published because I wasn't good enough yet. And then I spent 30 years in newspapers and got better at just writing anything. And finally I was good enough to do what I'd always wanted to do from when I was, 14.
Well, congratulations on the success you've already had, and I think you're going to have another successful one with A Noise Downstairs. Also, thank you for the time today.
Been a pleasure. Thanks very much.
Again, international best-selling author Linwood Barclay, his new book, A Noise Downstairs, it's out right now, and I have a link to it in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Vatican City is the country that drinks the most wine per capita, at least 74 liters per citizen per year. That's a lot of wine. 74 liters. Heidi's like, I've got you beat.
That's really not.
74 liters per citizen per year. That's a ton of wine. I know what you're right now going through and figuring out the math on this.
A liter is not that big. Now, if it was 74 gallons, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, they probably got me beat.
Heidi's got the Vatican City beat. She's got you whooped. It's been today's fun fact. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Make plans to join us for the second annual 80s in the Sand. My wife Heidi and I went last year. It was so much fun. And guess who's going to be there this year? It's Brett and Michaels.
Hello, everybody. It's Brett Michaels. I will see you at 80s in the Sand, Tuesday, November 6th, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. I promise you, this is going to be the ultimate concert, party, best night ever. Let's rock on, my friends.
Get your tickets now at 80sinthesand.com. Over 90% of the tickets are sold. Don't wait. 80sinthesand.com. Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and the word today is Whittawer. What do you think Whittawer is? Whittawer. Whittawer. What do you think that is?
I don't know.
It says a person who makes white leather, like white or light-colored leather. Also in use a person who makes a saddle or a harness maker, especially one who works with white leather to make the saddle or harness.
I never would have guessed.
And a person who converts skin into white leather is a tower. So a wittower is a person who does that with white leather. Wittower.
Alrighty.
There you go. That is today's grandiloquent word. Some of these words, how would you use?
I don't think I will ever use that word. I don't think I'll ever use any of these
Oh, there's
words.
some of them. I love to use flubbery, but you don't like it when I use that.
No,
just means it's like made up.
812 years
It's a
old.
bunch of flubbery. And Heidi does not like it when I use it. Usually when I use it, she'll roll her eyes. So you can't see that on the radio, but I can. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Time now for some weird news. Publix, that is the grocery store chain, they're cracking down on dogs, even service animals. They've posted signs at all of their locations telling shoppers to, quote, leave their pets at home unless they are service animals trained to help those with disabilities. And it says, for food safety reasons, only service animals that are specifically trained to aid a person with disabilities are permitted within the store.
Well, that's kind of common sense,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean, it's a food. There's food there.
The sign says service animals are not permitted to sit or ride in shopping carts. Thanks for your help. So I guess they've had an issue with it. A spokesperson for Publix told the Orlando Sentinel, this has always been our policy, but the signs are for awareness. Service animals have become a hot-button issue over the last year as several states have tried to crack down on people who falsely claim their pet as a service or support animal just so they can bring them with them wherever they go.
Yeah.
And I've seen that, and I know people who do need them are very upset about that because they're like,
Yeah, because you're going to ruin it for everybody,
Yeah.
and we need this for help. So.
Think about it this way. If you were an able-bodied person, but you just printed off your own handicap parking sign and thought, I'll park wherever I want to park now. That's the same thing. Don't do that. It's not right. So don't do that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. I don't know if this is really a moment of duh, other than it just sounds really funny. Raising backyard chickens has become quite popular. But for people all across the country that are in love with their chickens, I guess it's become a problem. Center for Disease Control is warning people to not hug their chickens. It says here, chickens have made at least 44 people sick, including 5 in Alabama, 11 in Florida, 2 in Mississippi. These people have gotten sick because they've gotten too close, like they're hugging their chickens, but then they're getting diseases from the chickens.
Okay.
You're supposed to keep your distance. Do not hug your backyard chickens. No, kids, they cannot sleep in the bed with you. They can't come. They're chickens. It says here, I've had about 7 years of what? I've had her about 7 years now. She lays a blue egg every few days or so because
cool.
she's old. I keep my animals clean, happy, healthy. That's part of my farm life. You just take care of the animals and make sure they're okay. Anyway, I've got a link to the whole story if you want to learn all about it. Don't hug your chickens. That's pretty much the story. It's today's moment of duh. Can't believe we have to tell people that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
Time now for fake news or Florida. You ready for this, Heidi?
I'm ready.
You have to tell me if this is fake news, something that was made up just to fool you, or if it's something that truly happened in the great state of Florida. First story. Fake news or Florida? A Florida teen has dropped out of school and legally changed his name to Elvis Presley. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
Oh, dang it. It is fake news. How did you know that was fake
'Cause
news?
what teen wants to be called Elvis Presley?
I don't know. I thought maybe there'd be some teen that you'd fall for the story. Foiled again. All right, how about this one? Fake news or Florida? Florida man struck by a car while filming a so-called In My Feelings challenge video. The thing that Drake has got people doing. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
Yeah, true story. And it's not just in Florida. That's happening all over the place. But this is a 22-year-old man in this story. He was supposed to hop on the hood of a friend's car while recording a video, but he slipped and the car struck him. So many people getting hurt doing these stupid In My Feelings videos. Don't do those. It's a bad idea. Don't jump out of a moving car.
Are they going to go after him for
no,
because
probably
he's
not.
inciting
No,
this
he's
garbage?
not. He's not asking people to do it. He did it in a video, then people were trying to copy him. So he didn't say, "Hey, you guys should all do this." So I don't think that there's anybody that can go after him for that. Bad idea. Don't do it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. And be looking for our viral video where Heidi does the In My Feelings thing. No, that's not going to happen. All right, we've got some good news on the way. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of Odiva. Odiva is a monthly subscription service just for the ladies, and I love it when you get to put the word hero in a story. Isn't that a good word to put in a story?
Oh, absolutely.
It's right in the title on this story, so I love it. Hero. It's a great story. Starbucks barista hailed as a hero after student's photo shoot gets rained out before major surgery. So take a listen to this. Weather was not good, and it ruined a senior's photo shoot, and a local barista went above and beyond the call of duty to save the day. Sydney Johnson has been planning an outdoor senior photo shoot in mid-July, and it started to rain. The young student was unable to reschedule the shoot because she has cerebral palsy, and she was set to undergo a major surgery.
Oh.
So her mother, Laura, and the photographer pulled over to continue the photo shoot. They were trying to figure out how can we do this, and they were sitting in a Starbucks, and they said, "Would you mind if we took some photos in the store?" So they drove over in hurricane wind and rain, and she says to the guy at the counter, "You can tell me." Oh, I'm not going to say what it says in here. We'll basically just say, "You can tell me
to
no."
go away.
Yeah, but my daughter was supposed to have senior pictures outside. She's in a wheelchair. Can we come inside and take some pictures? And they replied, absolutely. So you can see the photos online, and it turned out really nice. The young barista, by the way, his name is Chris. He followed Laura outside and proceeded to help so she wouldn't get wet, held an umbrella, did all kinds of nice stuff to help out. How cool is that? They need some good news right now. Those folks at Starbucks have had all kinds of terrible things happen.
They better be thinking Chris.
So, Chris, thank you for being a hero, and I think that is awesome.
So, it's the same word, whether you're a man or a woman that serves
barista.
coffee. Shouldn't it be like barista and baristo?
I don't know how this works.
Like,
I know
like
you
in
think that I'm
Spanish.
smart because I read big words all the time, but
Barista just sounds very
I don't know. I think it's
feminine.
I think that is gender neutral. So
I don't know.
There we go. I'm
going to call them baristos.
Barista. He's a baristo. Okay. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. I've got a link to this baristo story if you'd like to read it. I have no clue. We may be saying a naughty word in another language, so we should be careful. It's all in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.